In this presentation we aim to show how mathematical knowledge and skills progress through the Academy, starting with EYFS up to Year 6 when the students sit their statutory tests. At Ruxnest Academy we aim to show children that everybody can be a mathematician. In EYFS and Key Stage 1 we show our children how to count using concrete and pictorial representations. In the later stages of Key Stage 1 we teach them to recognise and write numbers and mathematical symbols. In Year 3 and 4 children are taught informal methods of calculation but are moving towards more formal methods. By Year 5 and 6 children are consolidating formal methods and using all of the math skills they have been taught to problem solve and reason in real life contexts. In the EYFS stage, children learn much of their math skills and knowledge through guided play and focused small group activities where the learning is practical and structured. They learn to count and recognise numbers in different contexts. In early Key Stage 1, they learn how to write numbers, recognise mathematical symbols and begin to learn the concepts of addition and subtraction, followed by multiplication and division in Year 2. Towards the end of Year 2, the children will look at the formal methods of addition and subtraction in columns. In Year 3 and 4 this is consolidated and built upon, with more formal methods being introduced and replacing informal methods such as number lines as a primary means of calculation. They are also exposed to more contextual problem solving and reasoning. In Year 5 and 6 this is developed and extended further to involve larger numbers and decimals, and the children are taught how to apply the skills they have learnt throughout school in more complex problem solving. From here on we will show you how 4 core strands of the national curriculum, number, addition and subtraction, multiplication, division and fractions are taught at Ruxnest Academy and how these skills are built upon and developed year on year. In Year 1, children consolidate their learning from EYFS and extend this to reading and writing numbers to 20 and being able to count to 100. In terms of calculations, they begin to read, write and interpret mathematical statements involving the addition, subtraction and equal symbols. They use this to calculate number bonds and related subtraction facts within 20. They also begin to count in steps of 2, 5 and 10 in preparation for learning their formal times table. Children are introduced to fractions in Year 1 and will be taught how to recognise halves and quarters of shapes and objects. In Year 2, children develop their prior learning and build upon this by learning to read, write numbers up to 100 and count forward and backwards in steps of 2, 3, 5 and 10 from 0. They add and subtract using 2-digit numbers mentally and through using pictorial representations. They learn how to add 3 one-digit numbers. The children also begin to learn their formal multiplication facts for the 2, 5 and 10 times tables. In terms of fractions, the children are taught to recognise, find and write fractions 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 2/4 and 3/4. In Year 3, the children begin to count in multiples of 4, 8, 50 and 100, and they should be able to recognise 10 and 100 more or less than any number. They should be able to read, write and recognise the place value of numbers up to 1000. They further develop their skills in using the formal methods of addition and subtraction to calculate with numbers up to 3 digits. They extend their times table knowledge to include the 3, 4 and 8 times table, including the related division facts. They are also introduced to the formal methods of short multiplication and division. As the children get older, fractions become a much larger part of the maths curriculum. In Year 3 they are taught to recognise any unit fraction and non-unit fraction with small denominators. They should also be able to count up and down in tenths. In Year 4 the children should be able to count in multiples of 6, 7, 9, 25 and 1000. They will be taught to use place value to order and compare numbers beyond 1000. They are taught to add and subtract with 4-digit numbers using the fall and column methods. They develop their understanding of multiplication by using a formal column method to multiply 2 and 3 digits numbers by a 1-digit number. They are also exposed to all multiplication and division facts up to 12 times 12. They look at equivalent fractions through diagrams and recognising families of fractions. In Year 5 the children read, write and compare numbers to 1 million, recognising the place value of each number. They consolidate and become more competent at using the formal methods, moving on to working with numbers with more than 4 digits. By this year group it is expected that the children have a solid knowledge of their multiplication facts and can apply these in various situations. They should be able to identify multiples, factor pairs and prime numbers. They will also consolidate their understanding of short multiplication division, and long multiplication division is introduced. In terms of fractions, they look at mixed numbers and improper fractions, converting one to the other, and add and subtract fractions with different denominators for the first time. In Year 6, the children read, write and order and compare numbers to 10 million, recognising the value of each digit. They can apply their knowledge of all the formal methods to contextual problems and reasoning situations. They develop their understanding of long division to include remainders as whole numbers, fractions and decimals. They learn to multiply and divide fractions and apply all of their fraction knowledge and understanding to real-life problems. In addition to the maths areas mentioned in this presentation, the children also learn about measures, statistics and geometry. These areas are covered in every year group, and knowledge and skills are revisited and built upon year on year to ensure that they are fixed in the children's long-term memory and make our children well-rounded mathematicians.